All right, what's going on, folks? We are here with another Game Sphere review, and we are taking a look at the game Syberia: The World Before. This is a fourth game in the Syberia franchise, which is a 3D point-and-click adventure game series that has a real story focus. So, quick rundown for those that want to know how the reviews work. There are 5 categories, 10 points apiece, total final score of 50. Then you can divvy out that however you want to whatever system you have. And the 5 categories are graphics, sound, controls, story, and value. So first category we have up is graphics. The graphics, all I can say is that this is a Unity engine based game, and just wow. I've played a lot of Unity games, a lot of story focused, heavy Unity used games like Dreamfall Chapters, etc. The visual look of the character models, the lighting effects, the weather effects, the little things like the hair and eye movement when you get up close into the selection menu for the main menu. It's just fantastic. All over, this has a very steampunk meets early 2000s mid-European vibe to it. So old and new. It's just a great atmospheric use of graphics and lighting and textures, and just so much to love about the graphical settings for this. So out of 10, this gets a 10. It's fantastic. I would give it higher than a 10 if I could, honestly. Next up, we have sound. The audio in this game is picture perfect. It sets up the atmosphere for the moments that are meant to hit from a storyline perspective. The music is a core central theme for the overall game. It uses the music and it's executed fantastically. The music pieces that are used for the background music are 100% as amazing as well. This is one of those games where I bought the deluxe edition for the soundtrack because I like the soundtrack that much that I will listen to this outside of playing the game. The voice acting is good. All the characters bring the characters to life. Every character has a unique way of speaking and it has a unique inflection into bringing that character to life. So it very much feels like real people are talking and having conversations and stuff. It's fantastic. I love the sound of this game. So sound gets a 10 out of 10. Brilliant use of sound to build story and enhances the game's atmospheric moments with brilliant voice acting. The next category we have up is controls. This is probably the one area where the game stumbles a bit, is in the controls. Being a 3D point-and-click adventure game, sometimes if you are not right on top of like the search hitboxes, you are looking to examine things in the environment, the button prompts will appear and then disappear kind of quick. Some of this has to do with the movement of the characters, which while the animations are smooth, there is a delay in the character movement. So when you stop it moving forward on the controls, you don't necessarily stop right then and there. There's a slowdown effect. So that is one area where it could be improved a little bit. It seems to be an intentional choice. So once you get used to that control and delay of like the characters actually stopping like a dead stop, it's fine. One other area is also the pullback on the default camera position in certain areas. When you're exploring, you can't always get a full picture of kind of the explorable area because it's a little too close. So you can pan and function and, zoom out a bit with the right analog stick. The default camera position is a little rough sometimes. So this category stumbles a little bit, gets a 7 out of 10. Controls are functional, but could use some fine tuning. So next up we have story, and I'm just going to be totally gushing right now. I love this story. It's no secret that I'm a story-based gamer. That's just kind of my way of rocking games. I will go on record as saying this is probably one of my favorite video game stories, period, full stop. Don't go any further than that. And I've played some great story-based games. Now, the reason for this, it's really actually quite simple. It's not, I'm out to save the world kind of story, which is, you get with a lot of JRPGs and RPGs and all this other stuff. You take on the role of Kate Walker and Donna Rose, and the way they tell the story is about a person trying to find out about herself, her family's past, and what all that means to her as a person. And I love the fact that there's this real human element that we all strive for and kind of look at ourselves. It's not something that's really done a lot in video game stories. I love this human element is a theme throughout the entire game, from the graphics to the story, etc. And that's what I love about this story, though. It's grounded, it's in motivations, it's limited in scope, and it's a personal story. It doesn't need to be grandiose. The adventure is grandiose, yes. There are grandiose elements to it, but the scope is personal, limited, and grounded. For story, this gets a 10 out of 10 for its limited scope, but big on keeping it personal and grounded for the motivations to see where this story ends is what I love about this story. And next up, we have value. So value is very, very subjective. Personally, this game as a gaming experience is worth every penny. Full price. I bought the deluxe edition at full price. The soundtrack you get with the game is worth the price that they're asking for. Now at $50 for the deluxe edition, some might find that a bit hard to swallow for an adventure game. I would totally understand that. For me, I put close into 20 hours and I've listened to the soundtrack multiple times. So if you're an adventure game fan, you owe yourself to experience this game because you want to experience stories as an adventure game fan. If you're new to the genre, this is a fantastic starting point for the genre. The backstory for the prior games is brought into the current game. So if you want to go and use those and have a better understanding of the backstory and some of the prior entries, you can. But this is also a very self-contained kind of story where all the prior names and stuff that get brought up are kind of Easter eggs for older Syberia game fans. But it's not necessary because you'll eventually get the context of the names and other things that get brought up. So with that, this particular category for me, again, totally subjective, 9 out of 10, totally worth every bit of money to me. So with that, we have a final score of 46 out of 50. Final thoughts on this? If you are a single player gamer or view games as an experience, you are doing yourself a total disservice by not getting this game. Go get this game, flat out, end of story, well worth the money. So that wraps up this review, guys. Let me know what games you have been playing. What games would you like to see me review? Well, comment, rate, subscribe, do all the fun stuff that YouTube wants me to tell you to go do. But at the end of the day, keep on gaming and keep on expanding that sphere of games that you play.